my god, hi guys. Okay, I feel like it's been forever. It's literally only been a week. Only been a week since I've recorded, but I feel like it's been forever. I don't know why. But I do want to apologize. Those that actually watch my YouTube or subscribe to me or know that I'm supposed to be posting every Sunday to YouTube, I've missed these past 2 weeks. And honestly, it's because I'm learning at my new job and I'm like so brain dead by the time I get out of work that I don't want to do anything. I want to chill and hang out with my girlfriend and her dog because that is my happy place. And then on the weekends is like when I actually get like sleep because I don't sleep well during the week. So honestly, there is going to be some life changes that come with just everything in my life. So bear with me, but I will do my best to start vlogging again and get on a consistent Sunday posting schedule. But I am determined to not let it affect my podcasting. My podcast is like my baby. It's my number one, like, over everything. Like, yes, I post a Snapchat daily. I try my best with Instagram. TikTok is hit or miss, but like my podcast is my baby. I have worked so hard to get all the credentialing for all of the platforms and make sure that like all of my like usernames, passwords, if I needed a subscription of some sort, what I needed to do, how I needed to record, if I needed to edit. Like I have been on top of my game with podcasting since I determined that that was like my number one like social media-ish like platform. I wouldn't say social media. I guess content creation is what I'm looking for. But regardless, I want to do better with vlogging because I feel like that gives y'all an opportunity to have an insight into my life. And hopefully, like some of y'all can relate or at least get some enjoyment because I've had some people tell me that like my life should be on like HBO. Granted, it's not that crazy anymore now that I have a girlfriend and like we're good. But like, if y'all knew me back like a year ago, even like 6 months ago when like I was literally like between my girlfriend and another girl, it felt like the Twilight Saga 2.0. But like lesbian. And then like last year, maybe not 2023, 2022. Yeah, in like August, September-ish, I think, is when I was talking to Anna. Those, I don't know if I've ever like mentioned her on here. But if I did, yeah, that was a fun time. That is around the time that one of my friends told me that I should have like an HBO show because like my love life was insane because I had like just broken up with my ex-boyfriend and I think like was it in June? I don't even remember. But anyway, it was like 2022 in the summer. I think it was like a couple weeks or days before our anniversary or something like that. It was like summertime. That's all I really like confirmed remember. But that and then going on a solo trip to Italy, getting COVID, finding a girl, realizing I was gay, like the whole shebang, like should be on HBO, right? Like I could literally like call up a news like a television like show starter, I don't know, production, be like, yo, you wanna like do my life story as a show? Because what the fuck? No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. I mean, I'm sure I'm quite entertaining at times, but there was a lot in 2022 that went on. But sorry to talk y'all's ears off. I always do this. I want to get into today's episode because it's very important to me. I mean, they all are important to me. That's why I do them. But today's episode is going to be like out with the old, keep the new. And it's like about building habits, keeping habits. So this is my way of really like tracking how well I've been doing with my New Year's resolutions. I feel like it's a good check-in, right? Because let's be honest, I feel like a lot of us struggle to build and keep habits in January, and we tell ourselves that it's a trial month and we'll actually start February 1st. So with it nearing towards the end of February, literally in like a couple days, because it's leap year, right? So we get the 29th this year. Yeah. So literally this is going to be posted on the 28th, and then normally that's the end of the month of February, but because we have leap year this year, we get the 29th. So it's literally like that close to the end of the month. You ever see like the meme of like when a car is like really close to like a wall and they're gonna like smash into it if they moved anymore? That's how close we are to ending February. And it's insane because my birthday is March 5th and I'm so excited, guys. It's literally a week away. It's going to be next Tuesday. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I really have no reason to be because I'm literally just turning 27. Like there's really nothing special about it, but I feel like it sets the tone. I have 3 more years until I'm 30 and I can like get my shit together. Like this year is going to be another transformation year. And I know it because I'm so close to my Saturn return. I need to see when that's supposed to happen. But like, I feel like there's going to be so many life changes. I want to get my certification done so that I can be a full stack developer. That's what I'm in school for currently. And just like take off with that, you know, that and vlogging and podcasting and all of the social media. Like that is my number one goal. So getting my shit together is my number one goal, all in one. But to do that, right, to get your shit together, you need to build some habits. So I'm going to go over some of the New Year's goals that I had stated in like, I think it was the end of 2023, one of those episodes. I think it was either the end of 2023 or beginning of 2024. It was like New Year's goals. That was the episode name, right? So I'm going to go through. I literally color coded this thing. So each goal has either a green, red, or blue response with like how it correlates. Green is like what I'm doing correctly. Red is what I need to work on, and blue is like this goal no longer applies. If you have a type A brain, you will understand this. I have never been, that's a lie. I've always been organized, but like, I know not everyone is like as organized as I am. And I know it's hard to see it in the video, but still, like, it's totally fine. So why don't we get started on reading this fucker? Okay, so let's go through this list. Number 1, waking up earlier in order to go slower and allow time to do important things before work, such as making breakfast, just slowing down, journaling, all of that jazz, right? So my response was, I have not been waking up early. However, once my new work schedule starts after training, I want to be waking up around 8 a.m. to do the following: waking up with a glass of water, journaling, stretching, and then doing either homework, business work, exercising, or spending time with my girlfriend, depending on the day. So that's kind of how I have incorporated some of the following New Year's resolutions, and you'll see. So number 2, waking up with a glass of water. My response: I have not been doing this. I need to be better with my water intake as my measurements indicate that my body water levels are low. I'm trying, guys. There are days where I will drink like a fish, and there are other days where I simply don't even realize that I haven't finished a bottle of water. Um, I have tried so many different things, but my main issue, I think, is that I like to drink tea and coffee, and those two things, when you drink them, you're not, that's not water, right? And you're almost dehydrating yourself by drinking that, especially the caffeinated ones, of course. So I need to sit there and drink water, like straight up water. I don't know if I could do like iced tea, because I used to do like pitchers of iced tea, and I would go sicko mode for those. So, I definitely want to start waking up with water and like having water at my bedside as a start. But drinking more water in general is something that I really want to. I want to make sure I keep up with. Number 3, stretching for 5 to 10 minutes in the morning. My response: I have not been stretching in the morning. It has been infrequent and when needed. So sometimes I'll like have a stiff neck, and my girlfriend will tell me like how to fix that, or like my back, and I'll take like these stretches, like even with like working from home and like in training, they'll be like, okay, take like a 5-minute break, stretch, get up, do whatever. Um, and they'll like, tell us to do so. But in the morning, I want to build a habit of just taking 5 to 10 minutes to get up, stretch, and relax. Because meditation does not bode well for me. I'm not very good with meditation. So I said that instead of meditating, I would get into a good mindset for the day by stretching. Number 4, journaling in the morning and at night. My response: I have been journaling infrequently. I need to set my journal next to my bedside to ensure a more consistent journaling experience. So I have been using my 5-minute journal. It's amazing, but I am not consistent with it. There are days, especially on the weekends, when I don't really have too much of a schedule going down, I like will forget. So in order to kind of make that promise to myself and keep that promise to myself, I want to keep it at my bedside table. This is going to be a lot easier to do when my girlfriend and I are living together, because I'm not going to be dragging that book back and forth. Because then it ends up staying in my backpack with my laptop and all that jazz. And I completely forget I have half of my stuff just sitting in my backpack until I need to grab it to use it. So definitely some way that I could fix that. Number 5, exercising and moving my body, wearing my watch 2 to 3 times a week. So this kind of incorporates a couple of things. But it mainly, wearing my watch is to measure the exercise, the walking, all of that jazz. I have gotten better with wearing my watch when I'm like going out on a walk or something. Sometimes I'll even go as far as to actually record the walk or the exercise, and I'm like, yes, like I feel good, I feel empowered. That's exactly what I want to do. But sometimes it's as simple as me just even having it on. When I'm like walking or doing something. It's hard because I work from home, so I tend to not wear my watch when I'm working because I'm not exercising. I'm sitting at a desk answering calls, making calls, whatever. Like, it's not very helpful in that sense. So my goal is to, once I have a better schedule, exercise on certain days, flip-flopping from the days that I'm like doing my homework and all that jazz. And then the gym would be nice, but it's not a priority. and just making sure that I wear my watch when I do exercise, which I do pretty good at that part, so I must say. Number 6, eating better, period. My response: I have been eating better. My girlfriend has been cooking food that I enjoy and having healthy options, but still keeping the balance between healthy and unhealthy foods. So, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I went on a cleanse. It was a partial juice cleanse. I drank 2 juices a day and I ate a vegan diet. The first couple days I messed up. I didn't realize that I was allowed to eat a vegan diet and I malnourished myself. And that was completely my bad. Once I realized how much I could actually eat and that this was a partial juice cleanse and not a full one, because the one that I had ordered, how do I explain this? Okay, so the way that the cleanse works is that you get a set amount of bottles, but you can choose what you do with those bottles. And the cleanse that I was trying to follow was the partial juice cleanse, that you did 2 juices a day with the vegan diet. However, I would have preferred something like a full juice cleanse and then kind of reset myself, and like eased myself back into eating, but I didn't. So I probably will stay away from cleanses for a while. I get very confused with cleanses and diets, and I've never been good at any of that. Like, I've always used like an app or something like that. So this was my first time kind of venturing out a little bit, and I didn't hold true to what I should have done. With that being said, ever since I was done with the cleanse, I have been making healthier choices most of the time. My girlfriend and I definitely have been trying to eat healthier. I've loved having my girlfriend experiment with tofu. She's having a blast with cooking. She loves to experiment with cooking, and I get to see how she does things. She even made me sausage and peppers, which I thought was so cute because my parents make sausage and peppers with onions and then they cook pasta. She made it just sausage and peppers. And normally, like, I'll sprinkle Parmesan cheese on top and make it a whole little thing. I just ate the sausage and peppers and I was full. It felt great. Another thing that I want to say is it was actually really good, like the way that she made it. And she said she even liked it. So we left out the onions, and then I never cooked pasta with it. And I thought that that was a great idea. It was a very healthy, low-carb meal. And there are times where I do want to lean off the carbs because I'm eating so much pasta, or I'm eating rice, or I'm eating bread. And it's like, I want to have days where I'm not eating that, because that is why I have such a huge, like, belly. I don't want to say huge as in like I'm fat or anything, but like I would like to eat healthier and I would like to feel more proportionate within my body and feel more confident. And I think that not having that carb belly would be nice. And also, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I want to be better with my carbs and make use and have nutrient dense foods instead of just wasting my carbohydrates on stuff that, like, I really don't need to, like a piece of white bread. Do I really need toast? You know, just kind of like tossing up those kind of ideas. And again, for those that don't know about diabetes too much, I measure my insulin, like how much insulin I take, based off of my blood sugar. There's like a ratio that my insulin pump calculates, and also an insulin to carb ratio. So mine personally is 1 unit for every 8 carbs. So I can have as many carbs as I want in theory, but in practice, I don't want to be eating all of these carbs and also using a lot of insulin. I personally like to keep as much insulin as I can. As someone who literally aged out of her mom's insurance and has seen people die from having to ration insulin, like, it's a serious topic, and I would love to get into that if anyone was ever interested in like a whole diabetes podcast or discussion. But anyway, I just have seen the worst, and read about the worst, that I just feel like I want to be conscientious of the insulin that I am using, and also my food intake as it pertains to my health. Anyway, that was a whole spiel. Number 7, praise yourself for small accomplishments instead of punishing yourself for a small slip up. So my response went 2 ways. One way, I have been praising myself for small accomplishments such as a to-do list check off, chores, and whatever I needed to get done. So like if I did something on my to-do list, I checked it off. I was happy and praised myself like, hey, I did a great job. I got this done. Or I did my podcast. I'm like, yes, I did my podcast. I got it uploaded and ready to be published. Like, just celebrating those small accomplishments and victories feels really nice because it allows you to focus on the positive. The other portion of my response was, I can be better with punishing myself for not getting things done, or having those small slip-ups. I need to take these moments as a realization that I am only one person and can do so much. I recognize that I don't actually rest on my rest days. So like, my girlfriend has kind of made me realize this, but I literally told her, I was like, I didn't do anything today. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And I feel so shitty for like not doing anything. Right. And it was like a Saturday. I was off from work. She comes home from work and she goes, you did all of the laundry, including yours and mine and Sadie's. She goes, you probably did like 6 loads of laundry and folded it. She's like, you didn't do nothing. You did chores. You even ran the dishwasher. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I did do something. But my mind feels like that was something that like didn't count because it wasn't on my to-do list. So I need to stop beating myself up for things that like naturally get done because I naturally do them. Like the dishes, I never count as like a mental check off of like, hey, I got that done, because it's just like an ongoing thing that I'm like, okay, I need to get it done, that I don't celebrate it. And I should be celebrating all of the small things and not knocking myself for it. And also, I need to allow myself for rest time beyond sleep. Sleep is not the only rest, right? Take a bath, read a book, listen to a podcast, watch a TV show, or literally sit in silence. I don't care what, but I need to do something that just centers me and allows me to do nothing, right? Because I feel like I'm on this constant go, go, go mode. I have a business. I do this podcast. I like to content create with social media and vlogging. I have a job, a 40-hour-a-week job. I have my full stack development certificate program that I'm working on. That's 6 things that I do in the span of a week. And that's not including cleaning the entire apartment that I live in. That's not including time spent with my girlfriend. That's not include eating or sleeping. That's not including me hanging out with Sadie. I do a lot and I need to give myself credit for that. And that's kind of why I wanted to like start that off, because you need to be giving yourself credit for where credit is due. If you took a shower today, good fucking job. You brushed your teeth, amazing. You should be praising yourself for these small things, especially if you have a neurodivergent brain. or struggle with things such as anxiety or depression because you're not realizing how much you do actually do. Anyway, so I'm going to stay on that because I feel like mental health is an ongoing topic and I could talk for days about it. Number 8, take pictures of your mornings to keep accountability. My response. I have been taking pictures with good morning in the caption and doing my daily Wordle results. This is all on Snapchat. So every day I wake up, I say good morning to whoever views my Snapchat, and I do a Wordle and I post my Wordle result. 1 out of 6, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 6. If you know, you know. I don't think I've ever gotten a 1 out of 6, but that's besides the point. I always have that accountability for when I'm waking up and when I'm doing my Wordle, when I'm testing my brain. I'm doing well in that aspect. What I can do better with is taking a picture as soon as I am done with my morning routine and doing my Wordle shortly after. So again, this is a way of developing my morning routine altogether. The way that I have structured this kind of like response list, I'm taking into consideration all of my New Year's resolutions, right? Because my first resolution was waking up earlier in order to allow myself to do everything I want to for a morning routine. Okay. And also I can do better with posting on Instagram and not just Snapchat. So with Snapchat, I've been doing great with good mornings and stuff like that, but I also want to be active on Instagram. And there are days where I don't post a story at all. So I feel like posting a good morning post, maybe even copying what I have on Snapchat, maybe putting the time on it for accountability for when I woke up, maybe posting a very aesthetically pleasing picture. Maybe I take a picture of my coffee brewing, something, anything to really get me engaged. Because again, if I want to build my social media, if I want to build who I am as a person and connect with other people, I can't just be lurking in the shadows like a little creeper. Hi, look, I need to be posting, So I think I just need to do better with consistently posting. And that's always been a problem with me. I can post all day long when I have my inspiration, but on a consistent basis is where I need to get better at it. And that is what I think will drive me to be more successful with my goals. I want to take a moment. Hi, baby. Hi, butt. So, okay, my girlfriend's dog is here because I have as much, anxiety, separation anxiety as she does. So Sadie is hanging out with me while my girlfriend is at a retirement party. It's okay, baby. And I missed her so much, and I was like, please let me love her. Must love Sadie. She's like, oh, what are you doing? What are you talking about? It's okay, baby. So anyway, I had to make a note of that. And I'm glad I did when I did, because she literally barked at somebody. So I'm like, perfect timing. But anyway, I just figured I would throw that out there because she was literally hiding behind my little egg chair. It's a papasan chair, but I call it an egg chair. It is what it is. Anyway, she was hiding behind my egg chair, and I'm like, what is she doing back there? What are you doing? What are you hiding from? Why are you behind me? Thank you, baby. She's so cute. Okay. Number 9, read more. My response. I have been reading in order to get my podcasts done. That is true. I have been doing the bare minimum with my reading. My other response. I have been infrequent with reading, and I can do better with reading a small amount each day to make things better. So for those that don't know, I have a goal of 12 books this year. I am falling behind on that goal because if I have 12 books that I needed to read in a year, I need to split that by month. And that means each month I should be reading a book. I am behind. I am currently amidst my second book, and I'm almost done in February. So, my girlfriend, lovely, amazing lady, has given me her username and password for like Audible. So she downloaded the book that I wanted to read, and I'm going to listen to it and make notes for my podcast. And because I'm still technically absorbing the content, I'm going to count that as a book. Even though I'm doing it audibly, it's still the same difference to me, because I want to consume content in better ways. And books and podcasts are two great examples about consuming better content. Not necessarily. The reason why I put better in explanation, in quotes. Oh my God, not exclamation. I was going for an exclamation point like that. I meant quotations. Anyway, the reason why I put that in quotations is because it's not necessarily better. It's just that like the content that I'm listening to, I feel is more valuable, like than like a silly little TV show that like might have nothing to do with anything. So yeah. Number 10, a 1 day a week reset. And this is going to be on Sundays since my schedule has me off on Saturdays and Sundays. Sunday is like going to be the start of my week because Monday I'm going to work. I don't have time to do a full reset like day. I want to make a day out of it is like my goal. So response 1, I have not been doing weekly resets, and I would like to get better with this and doing this on Sundays now that I know my schedule. Second response, when I do a reset and clean, I feel good because I do the resets. I just don't do it on a consistent basis. Again, these are habits that we are trying to build. And the only way to build a habit is to be consistent at it. So if I make it a point to make it a habit, perfect. And again, this is a hard habit for me to build because I've been spending weekends at my girlfriend's place because I just want to be around her, and she does long weekends. So like she works Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like long hours. So I go over there and I hang out with Sadie and I like do whatever I need to do, but I just do it at her place. So that leaves me unavailable to clean at my place because, well, now I spent my Sunday there. I can't do my apartment. So again, this will also change when I move in with my girlfriend. And when we come to that like halfway year point, things are going to be different. I'm going to be better with these habits. But for now, a lot of things are still changing in like my life that it's hard to like say like I've got this down, because I realize that like me knowing that I'm going to move in with my girlfriend, me knowing that my schedule is going to change, like I can't set a habit in stone because I'm not on the same schedule or I'm not in the same environment that I'm going to be in. And to build the habit, I feel like I need to be in the correct environment. I need to be in the environment that I want to build the habit in because it only makes sense to me, right? Like I can't do a 6 to that's a bad example. Let me say 7 to 3:30. I can't do 7 to 3:30. I can't build my habits on that if I'm not going to be 7 to 3:30. If I'm going to be 9 to 5:30, then I need to I need to have that be my schedule. I can't build a 9 to 5:30 off of a 7 to 3:30. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but I'm like crossing my fingers and hope that y'all get that. Anyway, let's move on. Number 11, do more of what makes you happy when it comes to consuming content. So I did talk about this a little bit already, and my response was I have not been consuming as much content on TikTok, which is a good thing for me because I consume a lot of content that I don't need to consume, and I just sit there and I never ending scroll. I have gotten better. I have been listening to podcasts. I have been reading. I have been doing other things to make my time worth my while, right? I guess what I'm trying to say is my free time is spent differently, and because of that, it feels worthwhile. It feels like I'm not just wasting it away on TikTok. There's moments where, yes, I'm like listening to music, scrolling on TikTok, watching a show. Maybe it's not productive, but that's okay. That is my way of resting. And another point or response to my resolution is when I do consume content, I make sure it's worthwhile or entertaining somehow. So like, let's say I'm listening to a podcast because I want to talk about that podcast content on my podcast. So like maybe they're talking about body image issues, for example. That was my podcast last week. I listened to about 4 other people's podcasts talk about body issues and gathered information from them, took their experiences or things that they said that really resonated with me, talked about it, and also brought in my personal experience. And that's how I created that podcast personally. I listened to 4 creators off of the top of my head. One was Soph, one was Alex, I forget her name, but the Call Her Daddy podcast. And then Liz Boss. Those were the 4 people I listened to about body image comparisons and all that jazz, disordered eating, all of those topics I got from them, and I listened to their podcast. I resonated with them. I took what they had to say and really digested that information, and then wrote notes on what I thought they did great, what I wanted to bring into my podcast, things that I heard them say that I'm like, this needs to be heard. Like reiterating their points and then also bringing my personal take on it. There are a lot of podcasts that I do like that because these topics, I know I'm not the first person to talk about it. I know that we don't all have unique experiences, and being able to listen to other people and what they have to say is just as important as me getting out what I have to say, right? We all have a voice. We all deserve to be heard. And I feel like everybody's opinion helps. We get to listen. We get to resonate with others. We get to build a rapport. We get to, not technically build a rapport if we're not talking to them, but like you and I get to build a rapport, right? Because you're listening to me, and some of you reach out to me and tell me about, the things that I talk about on my podcast or how you resonate. Like, I love that. I love being able to connect with you guys. And I feel like my way of connecting to the people I listen to is by like talking about it in my podcast. May they never know, completely understandable, but I just feel like regardless, I don't know, there's just something about listening to other people that makes me feel connected, because when I record these podcasts, like I do it in hopes that you guys love it, but also like your feedback means so much to me. Like a message about like, hey, like, I love that you did this topic. Like, this topic is important to me. Asking me questions, hey, like, would you do this on your podcast? Would you talk about this or your experience with that? Like, I've been very open about my mental health, my diabetes, my sexuality. I've been very open about as much as I possibly can be. I don't know what's going on with me and words today, but they're not working out. I try to be open with y'all as much as I can. As much as I can. And I feel like I have been through a lot, and I feel like I've grown up very fast for my age. I'm literally almost 27, and I feel like there are some people that I listen to that are way older than me that I'm like, yeah, I resonate. Like, girl is in her 30s, but I resonate. Girl is almost 40, but I resonate. Like, but also, like, I listen to Soph, who is younger than me, and I'm like, yeah, I resonate to that too. Like, I have so many unique yet ununique experiences, if that makes sense. Like, there are some things that are tailored to a specific person. Like me and Soph, for example. I talk about Soph because I love her, but like, we're both diabetics. We're both queer. I don't know how she identifies exactly. I know that she dates women, but I don't know if she identifies more as the pansexual, lesbian. Not 100% sure on her identity, and I don't need to know, but I'm just throwing it out there because I don't want to mislabel her in any way, shape, or form. But like, we have those experiences, and then this is a universal one, but like me with Liz is my connection based with her is like growing, learning from mistakes, going through heartbreak, manifestation. I don't know, there was just like a lot of her content that I really, really like inspired me and like got me going. Like Liz Boss on, oh my God, what's her podcast name? I'm blanking. Date Yourself Instead. I kid you not, her podcast is what inspired me to make a podcast. Hands down. She is so inspiring to me. And it's so important for me to consume content like that because I have created a whole podcast because she inspired me, because her content inspired me. So just keep that in mind, guys, when you're consuming content. If it doesn't like hit your soul, if it doesn't inspire you, if it doesn't want to make you do better, maybe it's not something you should be consuming as often as you do. Again, TikTok is totally fun. It's funsies, it's laid back. It's at this point, I feel like part of it is just jokes. Part of it is marketing and like with the TikTok shop and stuff. And part of it is just like, for me personally, it's really come down to like funsies. I just post whatever I feel like. I've kind of gotten over like trying to be something and trying to like make an image out of myself because I'm just me. I if that's not good enough, I don't know what's gonna be. I'm just me. Like, I feel like I'm just Ken song, but like Marissa. I don't know. I just think that if who I am is not good enough, that's fine. Like, I'm gonna post what makes me happy. I'm gonna post about my girlfriend. I'm gonna post about being a later in life lesbian, because these are like experiences that some people do have, like being a later in life lesbian, being a diabetic. Like, I'm gonna post whatever content comes to my head and I enjoy. I feel like the dumbest stuff ends up going viral anyway. Like, I posted about Taylor Swift, and it was partially a joke because of, like, people have obviously speculated on her sexuality, and she kind of did a, if you will, hand gesture, and I made a little joke about it being muscle memory. Now, granted, some people are like, oh, she's a dancer, she's a guitarist, like, you know, like that's where she got like her two fingers together. And I'm like, I've played guitar for multiple years and I was a dancer for about 6 years. And like, I did not start doing this until my sexuality changed, but that's besides the point. But like, it's also not serious in the same breath. And like, if Taylor Swift's team were to ever message me, which they won't, but if they ever were to be like, please take that down, I would. What else was popular? The Chick-fil-A video, the Chick-fil-A bowl. Y'all blew that up. There's like 2.3 million views on that. All I did is like make a Chick-fil-A bowl and use the weird voice text thing, and it sounded funny and cute. And then there was one with the octo plushie where I like switched its faces and I laughed, and y'all blew it up like 200,000 views for like you guys compared it to like a character. I want to say an anime, which is why I don't understand it because I don't watch anime. But besides the point, I just feel like the most interesting things went viral off of my page. One thing that I was glad that went somewhat viral, I think 10K-ish views, I talked about sexual assault on my TikTok. If you want to go look at it, I'm in a purple like head cap because I had oiled my hair that night. And it should say something along the lines of like getting deep with y'all or something like that. And then talking about how April is Essay Awareness Month, which actually is coming up shortly again. But that was last year. I recorded that in 2023. But it's just like, for me, like, randomest things go viral, and I realized that like, yeah, there's certain things that get pushed, especially at this point TikTok Shop gets pushed, but like no one wants to sit there and like do meaningful stuff on there anymore, I guess. Like, I feel like it's a lot of funsies, dancing videos, silly little things that people want to laugh at. People watch movies in different parts. And I just feel like if I were to go viral for something that wasn't me, I wouldn't like that. So I try not to post things that aren't me. And keep the content creation that's meaningful to me and close to my heart on like YouTube and my podcast. But anyway, I would like to move on from this topic because I realize that we're getting there. We're getting to an hour. We're not there yet, but we're getting close enough for me to be like, ooh, let's move on. Anyway, so that was consuming content. So number 12, having a sleep schedule or window for bedtime. My response: I did not create a sleeping window. However, I have been going to bed at a reasonable hour, and I will continue to go to sleep at a reasonable hour once my schedule is set in place. This is very important for me because I used to sleep anywhere from like 9 p.m. to like 2 a.m. There was like no reasonable window. I want like a 2-hour window. Like, I go to bed between 10 and 12, which is accurate at this point. It's like somewhere between 10 and 12. There are days where I might nap at 4 o'clock and now I can't sleep until 2 a.m. or I have too much coffee late in the day, whatever the case may be. Those are some instances that do happen, but not often enough for me to be concerned about my sleep schedule. I want to get more restful sleep, but that's a whole different topic, and I'm sure I'll be able to figure that out as well. Number 13, balance between being alone, doing self-care, being healthy, with food and exercise, and being intentional with socializing and having fun. So balancing all of those things, 4 against 2, balancing, right? My response, I have been balancing between, I call it relaxing and grinding, because grinding is me being alone, me getting my work done, doing self-care, being healthy with food and exercise, and being intentional, which is like journaling, manifesting, all that jazz. Being my grind mode versus my relaxation mode with going out, socializing, having fun. But with that being said, I can do better with having a social life because I don't exactly have one at the moment. I am working on my life at this time, and for now, I'm trying to make my life easier by doing the minimum necessary when it comes to socializing. Like I said, I have a lot that I do. I have a lot of goals, dreams, and ambitions on top of all of the things that I listed earlier with like the vlog, podcast, blah, 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 content creation, all that. I also have a book that I started and would like to finish in a couple of years. So my mind is like blah, 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 bunch of jumbles. And I feel like the only way for me to get shit done is to realize that there has got to be some give and take in my life. And my mom gave me a really good example of this when, oh my God, guys, there is a roach. Was that a roach? It's definitely a roach. It's like one of those big ass roaches or like a palmetto bug. It was on the tree branch that's like outside of my apartment. Okay. I hate bugs. Why am I in Texas? Why am I not back in Connecticut? Okay. Anywho, let me get down to it. My mom, she had me and my brother, and I remember she had a full-time job and went back to school full-time so that she could get, I believe she went for medical billing and coding, if that is an associate's degree in and of itself. Either that or she went to school and then got her CPC certification. I'm not exactly sure how it works, so forgive me. I did not look into her credentials or however thing. I know she has her certification, and I know she does medical billing and coding. So that's besides the point. How she did it, amazing. She literally told me that she did not have a social life that whole time. For me, I personally have realized that I need some form of a social life. I can get a social life from my significant other. And I'm lucky and I'm thankful that my significant other loves to spend time with me, and I am also her social life as much as she is mine. Now, with that being said, she does have other friends and whatnot. She's been here for years in Texas. I have not. I am trying to make a couple of good friends that like I can hang out with on the weekends, or go out to dinner, get some drinks, have some fun time, like while my girlfriend is working, and like decompress, but also not to put everything on my girlfriend. She does not need to be my only friend. You know what I mean? So I do have friends in Texas and I do have friends back home, but I want like good friends that are going to lead me in the direction that I'm going, or the direction that I want to go. I realize that there are some friends that like I kind of don't talk to like at all anymore, don't follow really on social media. Like I've literally, there are some friends that I've like met once and then never talked to again. And like that's either my fault or theirs, or no fault, but like one person didn't like, connect back. But like I've taken the time to realize that like when I'm looking for friends on like Bumble BFF or Tinder or Tammy or her or whatever, however I'm looking for friends, there's so many apps out there. Even like there's these weird ones. I think it's like Hey Vina or something. Like there's been some weird ones that I've been on that I'm like, what the heck is this as an app? But like anyway, whatever friend app I'm on, because let's face it, I don't go out enough to socialize and make friends that way. However I make friends, I'm keeping in mind that I'm also vetting them at this point. I need to make sure, do they align with where I'm going? Because I feel like that sets you up for what you want. Like, I had a lot of single friends back in Connecticut, and I ended up single. I'm not saying that that's how it works, but I'm saying I need to take that into consideration. I want friends that are like looking to look for a significant other or already have one and want to get married and want to build that backyard barbecue crew, or friends that have goals but like want somebody to like sit and watch The Bachelor and drink some wine with. Whatever the case may be, like I want to make sure that I'm like not going out and like wasting all of my money on alcohol and like going to bars and clubs and like wasting my time away, and then the next morning I can't even get up because I'm so sick from drinking. Like that's not cool. That's not me. Like I want something meaningful, and I guess that like I don't know if that comes with age or maturity or being in a relationship or like what that mentality comes with, but like that's my mentality, and it's definitely changed from when I first moved here. So I don't know, like my brain is just like working differently, and I think that I need to make sure that whoever I'm friends with is on that same page, because if they're not, if I don't have anything in common with the people I'm hanging out with, like what am I doing? I don't know. Oh my god, guys. Okay, so I literally went to go plug in my laptop, and I'm so clumsy. I completely, like, my setup was all over the floor. That was fun. Let's get back into it. So, I kind of finished with number 13, so let's move on to number 14. Structure your day that works best for you. My response: I am working on creating a schedule that will work for my new work schedule. However, I do not have a current schedule, as I want to ensure that I don't get used to something I won't be in forever. So currently I work 8 to 4:30. That's the training hours that I have. I need to keep in mind I'm not going to be working the 8 to 4:30 when I go into like the production phase of things, when I'm no longer in training. With that being said, I don't want to get used to something that is going to change. So that's why at this moment it doesn't apply, but I do have a schedule in mind for what I'll be doing. Number 15, spend more time outside and in nature. My response: I have not been spending time outside by myself. However, I do need to encourage myself to spend time outside when I don't have motivation and when I'm alone. What I have been doing right is that I've been spending time outside with my girlfriend. We go on walks, especially with Sadie. And I was also outside a lot when my mom came to visit this past weekend. Sorry, not this past weekend, the weekend before, the weekend of her birthday. I keep forgetting that it's Tuesday and that a weekend has passed since she left me. Crazy. Wild. Anyway, I basically need to learn how to go outside by myself and not have my girlfriend have to encourage me. Same thing goes for exercising. But that's besides the point. Number 16. Organize hobbies and curriculars. Now, I did talk about this a little, but I'm still going to get into it. I have narrowed down what is important to me: schooling, my podcast, vlogging, and my business. I am working towards a more reliable schedule in order to complete those goals. Those are my hobbies and extracurriculars that I want in my life on a weekly basis. Um, Obviously, my girlfriend is still going to be in the picture. She's just not like a hobby or extracurricular. Like, she's my person. Like, she's just going to be there or not, It's not really up to, like, I don't know. Like, I can't categorize her as that. She'll be there, but, like, whether I'm, like, spending time with her or, like, doing schoolwork is a different story. So I have organized kind of what I'll be doing in my non-work time. We'll put it that way. Number 17, spring cleaning and item purge. So, my response: I have started the process of getting rid of the things that I don't need because I know I'm going to be moving in with my girlfriend this year. So excited. But yeah, I've definitely been going through. I already sold my futon because we agreed that we're either going to keep her couch or get a new one. I'm keeping my diabetes utility cart. And there's some things that are like non-negotiables that I already talked with her about, and she agrees. Like, my non-negotiables is like the utility cart, the air fryer. I want my air fryer. Her non-negotiable is the microwave, which is perfect because mine's small. We talked about what we want to bring and what we don't want to bring, and I don't have a lot of furniture that I'm taking with me. This egg chair I'm getting rid of. I have a smaller one that I'm going to use for podcasting that I have used, but not in my video podcast. I usually used to use them in my voice podcast, like circa 2023. So kind of just, like, I have it in my mind what I need to get rid of. It's just a matter of, like, going through everything, cleaning out what I don't need, trashing, donating, selling. Like, straightforward, typical spring cleaning stuff. Number 18, following the in a month schedule this picture. So my response is, I have not been following this picture as I would like to get rid of this resolution. It no longer applies to me. So this is one of the ones that is listed in blue because it no longer applies to me and I don't want to continue that resolution. I feel like I was very ambitious making as many resolutions as I did. I literally have 20 resolutions. So some of them weren't going to work out, and I knew that, and I was okay with what didn't work out. Number 19, use a calendar regularly. My response: I have not been using a calendar regularly as I have not had things scheduled to do. This is important because it doesn't always apply to me to use a calendar. I write down when I have appointments, but because I wasn't sure of what my schedule was going to be, I didn't make appointments. I only have one appointment, and that's on my birthday, and that's to see my endocrinologist. And the billing person laughed because she thought it was typo, and I said, no, I'm crazy. My endocrinology appointment is actually on my birthday. It's not a typo. And I laughed. Like, I was just like, nope, I'm insane. Like, I'm going to the doctor on my birthday. I love that for me. Go me. But yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't apply as much because I'm not really doing as much in terms of appointments. I will be, but the glory of that is that the way that my schedule is, I'm trying not to give out my actual schedule because I just think that's like my business. I'll have time that I can schedule it. because like I'm not working a 9 to 5 when all of the doctors are like available. Like I have leeway on when I can go in and see them. So it's perfect. Anyway, number 20, last but not least, create and finish daily task sheets or to-do lists. So the reason why I haven't been using a calendar so regularly is because I've been doing task lists, things that I need to accomplish, stuff like that. I haven't been really writing down any deadlines because I don't have any. With work, like the work that I do is not deadline based. I know eventually I will have deadline based work, but at this time I don't. With school, I don't have deadlines. I have things that I would like to get done by a certain time, and I have an outline, but it's not like this is due Tuesday, this is due Saturday, blah, blah, blah. That's not how my schooling works. It's your pace, which I like. But this allows me to create to-do lists, and I created a long-standing task sheet in which I'm crossing off. So like that consists of like I says like I categorized it. I have a type A brain, right? So my to-do list is like business, all of the stuff I need to do for my business, podcast, the next like 5 podcasts, and like whether I've written them out, done the description, recorded them, published them, stuff like that. And then what's another one? Personal. So like I wanted to get something done on my car. Like now I can check that off because that was just done yesterday. So like stuff like that. Like I have it organized by category. Like such a type A brain. So because of that, I don't really need a calendar because my life doesn't really make sense with a calendar at this point. Now, down the line, if I have a job that is project based, that'll be a different story. I might want to write that stuff down. But as it goes at this moment, it's not really, it just doesn't make sense, is like the best way to put it, I guess. Now, there are a couple of points that I want to make because I also have here separated small habits to change. So, one of the small habits that I wanted to change is not responding to people or going on social media until I finished my morning routine. So, I am proud of myself because I have not been going on social media first thing in the morning. However, I have not been doing my morning routine. It's just no longer the first thing I do when I wake up. So I wake up, I like either love on my girlfriend or, and then get ready for work, or I'm over here loving on Sadie Butt and I'm like not on my phone. I'm not even looking at my text messages unless it's from my mom, which it usually isn't, and it's usually not important, but like I check to see if anything's important, and if it's not, it can wait. Which is really nice because I no longer feel glued to my phone in the sense that like I need to respond to somebody or like something bad is going to happen. That's not always the case. Like I need to realize that like if something was desperately important, like I would have a phone call. I should have a phone call or FaceTime. Normally FaceTime is not important though. That's just like goofing off usually. But I've realized that like I don't need to be available 24/7. I don't. Neither do you. We owe it to ourselves to give ourselves a break. And I do that by not checking my phone first thing in the morning. And I also don't always do it at night either. Like there are times where like I will go to bed and I forgot that I didn't check my phone. And it's nice. My phone, I couldn't even tell you where it is. I think it's like in the bedroom and I'm in the living room. I don't care. I'm reporting. I'm recording my podcast and that's what matters to me. It's a small habit that I've broken and I'm so happy about it. But on the flip side, I need to ensure that I'm doing my morning routine in order for this habit to be built. because the habit is contingent on the fact that I do my morning routine. Next habit, reading before bed. I have not been reading before bed. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Y'all already know that I should have been done with book 2 and I'm not. And that's okay. Why? Because I am human. Reading before bed is great. It was great the whole month of January when I didn't have such an exhausting job. Let's be real. I was reading as much as possible. I was reading like at least 20 pages a day, if not more. I was like eating that shit up. But I was also sick, so I couldn't like just pick up another book. Like I was just determined to finish that book and that was it for that timeline. So it didn't work out so great for me, but it's a habit that I would like to build. Another small habit, last one on my whole entire 3-page list, letting out instinctive reactions privately. So like using a journal, a notes app, etc. Here's what I put as my response. I have been letting out my reactions privately. Sometimes I record a podcast and delete certain parts if I'm rambling or venting and I want to keep certain things private. Sometimes I'm just a goofball. Like, you will not see the fact that I completely, like, dropped my whole setup on the floor because I got rid of that. Thank you. But, like, there's just some things that don't need to be out there. The other day I had something that I wanted to say to somebody, so I wrote it in an email to myself and I saved it as a draft. That felt so good to just get it out, to just get my thought out there, put it out there, just let it out. Because sometimes I just need to garbage spew whatever it is. So to do that privately, to put it in a notes app, a Word document, an email, and not have it go to anybody, sometimes just getting it out feels so good. And honestly, I feel better, like way better. And another thing about this is that honestly, there have been so many times where I have sat there recording a podcast and I just let out my feelings. Because if you haven't noticed, I usually talk about what's going on and then I get into the podcast content. And it is so nice sometimes for me to sit there for 30 minutes to an hour, vent, ramble, whatever, say, this is crap, nobody needs to hear this, delete it, start over again, short and sweet little intro about my life, and then getting into the topic. Because y'all are not here to listen to me therapize myself, whatever. You guys aren't here to listen to my like own therapy session. Like, you are here because you want advice. You are here because you want to hear how I'm doing things. You want things that are actually worth substance, productive, things that are like actually worth your while. Let's be real. So that's all I gotta say. I love you guys. I am gonna go because I'm gonna take this one on a little walk because I love her and I want to get her on a little walk, and I also have to go to the mailbox, and then I'm going to edit this podcast. And by the time all that's done, if my girlfriend is not home, I might as well cry. No, I'm just kidding. If my girlfriend is not home by that time, I do have to feed Sadie also because it's going to be about that time. So yeah, I have some stuff to do before I go to bed tonight, and I would like to relax. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I genuinely hope that the way that I laid out the responses to each of my like New Year's resolutions, I hope you guys do that. take time. I'm so serious. If you have a list of New Year's resolutions, write responses to them. If you are a type A brain like me, use the color coding system. Green is going to be you're doing exactly what your New Year's resolution said and how you're doing it. Red is what you're not doing and how you can fix it. And blue is, hey, this resolution really doesn't apply to me anymore. We can scrap this. It is such a great way to reflect on your resolutions and see how far you've come, because sometimes we don't realize. I did not realize how much I was doing, how much green there is on here. And honestly, I'm surprised at the amount of blue on here. Like, I didn't realize so many things would no longer apply to me. There's a lot of red, yes, but it's constructive criticism. It's reflection. And what better way to better yourself than some self-reflection? BFFR. Okay, enough talk. This episode has been long enough. I love you guys so much. Sadie baby loves you so much. And we will talk to you guys next week on my birthday episode, 27 things I have learned by the age of 27. It's going to be something like that. I don't know what the title exactly is going to be, but it's going to be something like that. Okay, love you guys. Bye.